talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.
Up, Cronulla. I'm hungry, I'm wet, and I'm cold, but I'm here. And it was all worth it up against the Dragons. The Sharks coming away with the win. If anyone wants to have a chat, let us know your thoughts about the game. Pop them down in the comments or click the link to dial in and get on with the show. I'll just pop that link in for you now, everyone. Boom. There you go. Joining me is one of the many Pikers who decided not to go down to the game because of a little bit of weather. It's Lats. Thanks for joining me.
Too moist for me, mate.
Yeah. At least you've made it here with me, unlike some of the others.
That's
how
right.
was the game watching it from the comfort of your own home?
Oh, mate, I was a bit angry at halftime. I was a bit worried there, but I thought Dragons had come out hard, given how drubbed they got the week before. But it was much nicer watching it from the lounge than braving the elements down there, I reckon.
Absolutely. If it makes you feel any better, even the mermaids decided not to come out because of the weather, so they were.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't go then.
Yeah, exactly. But I've got to say, with all the weather, how good is Shark Park's drainage? Media trying to bring us down, talking about floods and how it's going to be, a bit questionable whether the game can go ahead, but beautiful ground looking when the kickoff came along.
Yeah, looked good on TV. I saw a couple of those posts this morning and I thought, wow, Sharknado 2.0.
Yeah, as much as I'm complaining, the drip line even behaved, and it wasn't until I had to get to the game or walk to the car afterwards that I started to get wet. So, mad props to everyone else who was in general admission there, who probably got a lot more of a soaking than I did. Well done, everyone. I think it was one of those games that was a bit of a dour affair. I don't think many people will say that I'm wrong there. Maybe it felt a little bit more dour because I was in the trenches there with the weather, but it was still a good one. We've got our regular commenter here, Harley.
Harley.
Sharks won in Derby, great game. Super happy for the Sharks to win. Yes, aren't we all? Especially against the Dragons. I think it's one of those things that everyone really looks forward to. I like to put my rose-colored glasses on, and think the players also look forward to this game. Administrators, everyone. But certainly us fans, we really get into this one, and this is something that we look forward to. And a win, mate, up against little brother, we'll claim that one.
Little sister, I prefer, but yeah.
That'll work. We've got Mark, hard-hitting questions straight up. What were your thoughts on the 6 again decisions all game?
Which one of the 50 do you want us to allude to, mate? It was ridiculous. The stop-start. Yeah. I thought the Dragons were well played into that first try of theirs. From that call from contact with the head, I think it was on Wilton when he came flying across there. There was nothing in that, and he copped one in the second half, which wasn't even pulled up. So it's a little bit all over the shop there, stop-start. But, yeah.
Mike was there. Well done, Mike. We were there. Not as much rain as predicted. The ref definitely had a fetish for ruck infringements. Sure did. And you're right, mate. I think, I can't speak for everyone else, but the heavens opened up not long after we got home. So, it was good timing for a lot of us, I think. It could have been a lot worse than what it was. Never looked like losing, says Craig, after the second half try. I don't know. Those local derbies, you can never count a win. There might be some of us who'll call to sing the song earlier than full time, but I'm not one of them. So
correct. Yeah, that was even 20 minutes out. That was in the balance. That game, I thought I wasn't comfortable until that sort of last 6 or 7 minutes of that game, and even then it was like 10 points. It's not a big difference, is it?
Not a big difference at all.
And can I just say, can we please put the third try principle to bed now? Because I'm pretty sure the Dragons scored that.
You're getting in on me.
I jumped the gun on you, didn't I?
That for sure. Hang on. What is this? Here we go. Craig Williams was interviewed at the ground and gave the podcast a plug. Hey, good work.
Giddy
All
up.
right, Williams. Well, he's not here, so...
Yep. Well, clearly only 10 people were listening at the ground at the time because that's all we've got in here at the moment. But
watch it not live. But yeah, that's good. He gave us a plug. Hopefully there were some people listening. Hopefully he didn't lead us astray on the big screen there down at Shark Park. I think that was a weird one. Were there only, like I said, 10 people down there? Because I didn't see it. So, but all right, let's do a bit of a quick rundown for those that are either missed it and want to hear what happened, or for those that want to relive the glory of a victory. In the 14th minute, after a rampaging run from Hazelton, Kafusi hits the defence and spins, lands over the line. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, easy to say as someone just watching from the sidelines. I'm sure there was a bit of effort and impact in there, but it seemed that the Dragons just weren't sticking on that tackle.
Yeah, I thought it was deserved of Kafusi. I thought he's been close the last few weeks. He's been putting in a lot of work early, and he was quite strong in both his stints, defensively and in attack. And yeah, just it was a day for the forwards, and the big man bustled over.
Sure was. You're right. He has been close the last couple of weeks, so good to see him get the chocolates. In the 26th minute, with the Dragons on the attack, with Eisenhuth, he has a slow play of the ball and they go blindside, which has Ronnie coming in probably when he didn't need to, giving Ravalawa a saloon passage to the try line.
That was pretty easy catch and put down for Ravalawa, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like, I know I was pretty dirty at Ronnie on that one. I really didn't think he needed to come in, but with the wraparound play, maybe there was a bit of question marks floating around from the defensive side, but I don't think he needed to come in there. Seconds out from half-time, DeBellin almost gets over the line. Great ankle tackle from Talakai and a bit of assistance there from Kennedy. Almost gets over the line near the posts. Dragons send it right with Ronaldo again coming in, leaving Ravalawa open to score in the corner. This one was less black and white, I thought, with Sloan getting around Iro's outside shoulder.
He had to come in, Ronaldo.
I think he probably had to come in for that one.
Try and shut it down. I thought it was interesting, and I know Phil Gould alluded to it. I watched Channel 9 today. But Nico Hines batted that ball out when he was in a very catchable position in goals there, which led to that set. He decided to bat it out and back the team's defence and go for the dropout. He could have caught that. Maybe it's going through his head. I drop it, they score, but he barely had any pressure on him. Really, he could have easily made a catch at that. So that was disappointing. So
yeah, gotcha.
Is what it is.
I think it was one of those ones that we probably should have been able to back out a fence on that. I haven't checked the stats today, but as of the beginning of this round, we were the best defensive team in the comp, and we should be able to hold something like that out. Simple sort of wraparound play. I said, it was a bit of a slow play of the ball. We should have been in a better position to defend that. And then, as you said, Lats, that was the third try. So for those that subscribe to the third try rule, this is the third try scored by the losers of the Dragons. Make of that what you will. 5 minutes into the second half, after recently being denied off the back of a Hines break, Talakai gets another chance, storming onto a Hines pass, carrying Hunt over the try line with a great decoy run from Wilton. That was just Talakai. That was just usual
strong
best,
Talakai, wasn't it? Coming off the bench and showing the impact that he does have off the bench. I really like him in that position, and he was unlucky not to get another one. So yeah,
true.
He's just that
big fend on was it the Muppet going to Parramatta next season.
Lomax.
Lomax, yeah, big fend on
Yeah.
Lomax as well.
Yep. And I'll tell you what,
that was-
yeah, Jesus, just a little bobble in it, wasn't there? And I thought if we score that, I think we have a comfortable 35 minutes to victory there, but wasn't to be. But
yeah. Anyway, I suppose that bobble, one of those ones where I would have thought that maybe we could have said that was a knock-on from the Dragons in that bobble, because Talakai was in the act of passing it backwards, Dragons' hand on the ball, connecting with the Sharks player. That's them knocking the ball into a Sharks player, in my opinion, but I can see why that could have been a 50-50 call. And as I like to say, winners are grinners. We won this one, so I'm not going to gripe over a call like that. If we'd have lost, it might have been a different scenario. At the 65th minute mark, Katoa makes a great break, slipping past Jack Bird. He's brought down about 20 metres with a quick play of the ball. We see Hazelton storming onto the ball and score his third try in 3 games. For those keeping track of Tommy's tries tally, that's 4 for the season, and certainly knocks Williams out of the predictions tally. Racing towards you there, Lats, I think, with your tally, but I think I'm in danger now. Thought I was in danger last week. I'm definitely in danger now.
What was your tally?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go back to the tape.
I think you might have been 7.
I
think you and I were 1 apart. I think I might have gone 8. But
okay. All right, mate, so I'm still in the hunt.
I don't think any of us will be by the end of the season, but
no, he's gonna score. He's gonna break the record.
I'm happy to lose that one.
Yeah, too good.
I'll tell you what though, with that tackle, that was a big wind up, and he was no way going to be stopped. Big 2 metre tall unit that he is. Tyrell Sloan with the trip. I think he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Tyrell Sloan, I think he's in trouble there. Tripping, trying to didn't really even make a tackle. He just threw the leg out, and I think he's on report, and I think he might see a week or 2 for that.
Didn't notice that at the game, but I did notice a lot of Dragons players around, and none of them really ready to put their body on the line to get in front of Tommy. So that was
and why
pretty
would
nice. Exactly, correct. And finally, in the 77th minute, off a penalty against Flano, we take the goal, which has Hines slotting it, giving him 4 from 4 for the night. Sharks victorious, 20 points to 10 in the first edition of the local derby for 2024. So, well done, Sharkies. Up. Now, you had us at 13 plus, mate. Not exactly the game you were expecting.
Oh, no, mate. I thought as I said earlier, I thought they'd come out strong. I'm happy with 10 points. Half time, I didn't think it was going to be that big a difference. But, I knew they'd come out strong, but I'm loving the patient footy that we're playing at the moment. And we're just getting into our grind. We're trusting the process, and we're playing it for the whole 80 minutes, and it's just getting us the W's week to week. It'll be interesting to see how we go over the next few weeks, but I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, stats-wise, looking at it, very even across both teams. There were obviously momentum swings throughout the game where someone had a bit more possession than the other, but coming up to full time there, pretty much across the board, hit-ups, tackles, errors, possession, it was all pretty even across the line. So, that sort of adds to the, the tight affair that we witnessed. I think they had some better kick distance than us, but we sort of punched a bit harder in running meters, so that evened out there in itself. But it was interesting to see, as they always say with these derbies, the teams lift for this one, and getting pumped by 40 points previous week probably gives a rocket up you to try harder as well. So
Gal said on Channel 9, he said with these games, position on the ladder does not come into it at all. It's all to do with who wants it more on the day, and it's they just both rip in for these sort of local derbies and that.
Yeah, and if the local derby ever did need a bit of a refresher to say there should be some spite in this one, and the fans really care about it, the swapping of the coach, Flanagan first up match against his old team, and Cam McInnes just bleeds emotion, and him being an ex-Dragons now with the Sharkies,
Yep.
I think he would let them know how much it matters as well. So that's good to see, I think. Now,
speaking of Cam, mate, looking at him in the presser, that was the cleanest I've seen him look after a match. So whether it was the amount of water on the field, I don't know. But there was no blood, there was no dirt.
Do we say he had a quiet game? I don't know, giving everyone else the effort balls.
Yep.
But no, you're right. He was clean. He was in a dinner suit tonight, comparatively, wasn't he?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, he didn't look like Chucky. Didn't look like Chucky tonight, Matty Johns.
No. So now I have just worked out what SJD was saying by how many subs did Williams garner from his shout out. So this is again in relation to what Craig told us all about, getting interviewed at the ground and giving our podcast a plug. We don't know, SJ. We'll have a look.
I looked it up,
tomorrow.
mate.
Yeah,
I had a look.
We've lost subs.
Hang on.
We've lost.
I'll just get to see. No, we got two. We've gotten two.
A Williams shout out at the ground is worth 2 subs. You've heard it.
There you go. Bringing them in numbers.
Mate. Yeah, and then SJD.
Maybe if you had won the hard quiz, we might have gotten more.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Where was the plug on that? Almost wanted Klein back refereeing. Yeah, almost. No, didn't want that at all. So we'll pretend we didn't read that one, SJD. Now we've got a tough run ahead. We've got the Storm, the Roosters, the Panthers. This kind of ugly win, does this prep us for that? You know, we've sort of been blowing the last few teams off the park. A different win, different circumstances. You know we're not going to score a lot of points against those teams. So is this good for us?
I think it is, mate. In saying that, you look at Melbourne yesterday, they had a scare too, so they're going to be equally up for it next week.
Pappenhausen out, though.
Yeah, Pappenhausen out, but you know the system at Melbourne, just the Nick Meaney will go back there and someone will slot into his centre position. Yeah, mate, I think it does help though. Like you want to scare, you don't just want to be comfortable the whole way through, because you do lose those big games and you don't have that sort of, I guess, that sort of flair that you to draw off that, you know, that close matchup. But yeah, I think it will help, but I just think Melbourne being, you know, nearly getting done by the Titans, who, yeah, they won the week before, but they haven't been anywhere near where they should be.
They're a bit of a rabble,
in the league.
aren't
they are. But yeah, and they weren't under strength really, apart from Pappenhausen going down early. They were pretty full strength.
And they
Melbourne,
should have been up for Munster's, was it 250th game or something?
Yeah, so I think regardless of them winning, Bellamy will give him a massive spray. He wouldn't be happy with that. So they'll be a different team come next week as well. So I just think it's going to be a good contest.
Yeah, it sure will be. Yep, absolutely. Now, Teague, cutting blokes in half. Did that come across on the TV or what?
Yeah, he was on a mission today. He was just lining them up, wasn't he? He looked a bit Sam Tagatese there, you know, like just sniping blokes from way back.
He was all effort this game, like hitting hard, cutting people in half, and running those lines that really sucked in the defence. He had a great game. Taking
hospital passes on the line, and he had a belter of a game, Teague. I thought he was one of the strongest. So.
I think so. I think he just did really well. At least, you know, like I said, live, you're seeing him off the ball doing a lot of work that maybe some people might not have seen if they were watching from home. Now, Hamlin-Ueli was a bit of an interesting one. Really noticed his impact. Came on, absolutely carted the ball up, basically knocked out Little.
Sent him flying, didn't he? Sent him flying into the sheds for HIA.
Correct. Yeah. Then backed it up with his next carry, but he was only on for 10 minutes. Did they talk about that at all on the coverage?
No, they spoke about him coming on with only 28 to go. I thought he'd play it out, but no, they didn't really talk about it, allude to it too much in the coverage. But I thought it was an interesting one. But yeah, especially given, you know, how much that game was built for forwards. I thought that was just a really forward strong game, especially in our attack. You know, like 3 tries. What did we score? How many tries we score? 3 or 4? All forward tries. So 3 tries, all forwards. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
normally our outside backs have just all dominated in terms of run meters.
Yep.
But this time, yeah, the props and the engine room
the big boys stood up today. So
big boys rolled up their sleeves and did what they
Yep.
needed to do to get us forward. It wasn't happening out wide as much. Obviously, they've all pretty much cracked their 100 meters as per the norm, but
Yep.
it was less of an impact on the game.
Yeah.
Than
The
what
conditions,
normally is.
though, you kind of expect that, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely correct. So, and talking of those conditions there, yep, Craig has come in. He said ball handling was good considering the conditions too. I noticed there was a couple of drops there from Iro at poor times, but I think it was just the fact that it was in those poor moments. It was like, oh, there's something about to happen.
That was such a big break he made there when he had that ball.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we'd blown our challenge on that Talakai try attempt and couldn't challenge it. But
yeah, because
luckily
I think
we didn't need to in the end.
Had it been challenged, that was
I think so too.
A slap at the ball and a knock on from the Dragons. But yeah, so you're right, Craig. Good ball handling, and it was well done by the team. I think. Oh, look at this, SJD. 2 subs, better than nothing. This is true, buddy. This is not wrong. What about Atkinson? He looked busy. He looked confident.
He took on a lot more today, didn't he?
He was in on a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. He had some beautiful little runs. Jeez, he's explosive when he just takes off.
Off the mark, a lot of pace.
He's got a beautiful right foot step, doesn't he? Yeah, he was really confident today, and that's only going to grow.
I think he was hungry for it. He was a bit of white line fever there as well at some stage. But
100%. He's going to be looking for a big game too, being his former club. So I'm liking what I see there. So with Atkinson, but I'll tell you who I thought was really strong today. You didn't see much of him, but he just did the work, and that was Nickera. I thought he had some lovely runs, and his workload was solid. I thought he had a cracker game.
Nickera, told you, he's always our best.
He's your favourite, mate. You know
he is. He's just he does everything right. He puts himself out there, protects his inside man. He
does the tackle count.
Tops the tackle count. Does those awful runs that no one else wants to run. So he is a gun. So he's doing what he needs. Now off the back of our Teague discussion, Craig's come up and he says Teague wants an Origin jumper.
He wouldn't look out of place, mate. He would not look out of place.
Wouldn't look out of place. And I think there were rumours about him, if not last year, the year before. I think it was before. Last year I think was a little bit of an ugly patch, especially with his injury. So the year before, there were rumours that he was being considered. So maybe he's putting his hand up for an Origin jersey. But I hate to bring it up, and now that Craig has opened that bottle, it's a pet peeve of mine when media does it. However, if there's one thing Origin loves, it's a cult favourite bolter. Are we going to start hearing Tommy for Origin whispers soon, you reckon?
Mate, who knows? I think maybe not for the first game. If we lose the first game, Madge might start scrambling a bit and looking thinking outside the box. But one thing I did hear, apparently Jesse Ramian copped a phone call today, I believe, from Madge saying that he's a massive chance and to put in over the next few weeks. And I don't think he hurt his chances today. I thought he had some really strong carries. Pushed the offload a bit too far for me today on a couple of occasions. It's good that he's looking for that second phase play, but yeah, mate, I said it last week. I think he might play Origin this year.
Interesting. I mean, centre's not exactly a lacking position in New South Wales, so that's
it is when you play Hines and Damien Cook there. But
well, I mean, when you ignore the talent you've got in the centres to play,
correct,
anyone else, but Blake Williams says, the Sharks.
Yeah, the
Blake,
Sharks.
I saw you there in the ET stand, buddy. Well done, braving the weather. So I think, all right, good work, Ramian. Yeah, I thought he was good. Ramian did have a good game. I think he, as he said, didn't do his chances any hard if he is up for discussion. But I think it's one of those things that there's just so many people there that you could put your hand up, especially, hate to say it, but Lomax is in and about. We've got
and can
best
kick a
from
goal, so that goes to
Newcastle.
it. You know,
Yep. The obsession with putting fullbacks in the centres. So, it's going to be one of those things that, I don't know. We'll see. Watch this space.
who do
but
you think
know
plays
what?
fullback? Edwards or Turbo?
I
Got to
think
go Edwards, I think.
you've got to go Edwards, because Turbo's already proven that he can play out wide and do a good job there. And then you've got the Edwards combination with the spine. So yeah, I'd put Edwards there at the back. I think with Edwards there, it'd be a different performing team, different strategy, different structure. But I mean, Tedesco, what you reckon he's not going to get a mention?
I don't think he gets. I don't think he plays this year, mate. I think he's done. I just think he's aging now. I just think the baton change is coming this year.
I personally wouldn't have him, but I just think that incumbency plus captaincy, it's going to be hard to dislodge him, especially while the Roosters aren't doing too badly.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets picked, and if we lose game one, that's his time done. But I just think he's got the spot. So
I think Madge is not gonna want to lose game one. I think he's going to build from the start. I think I just can't see him being in the team. The way Turbo and the way that Edwards are playing, you can't leave him out.
Well, we have seen that Edwards has been left out for the last several years, even though the Penrith Panthers have won the last 3 years. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's enough other teams.
Enough non-Shark stuff.
Enough non-Shark
Back to more important things.
All right, the Flano debate. Okay, so Flano came out with a lovely little snide comment, which personally I loved, stoking the fires, mentioning that we hadn't won a comp since he'd left. Just quietly, I don't think he's won a comp since he left either, so that's even. Saw in the press that we were basically told not to talk about Flano at any of the presses, and sort of, let's talk about us, let's talk about how we're doing. How do you think that the Flano rivalry with Sharks and Sharks fans went this week?
Yeah, mate, I think Flano just came out to mask the absolute belting his team copped the week before, and it worked. You didn't hear too much of the speak around that, we all love Flano. You got us one. You can't not love Flano. His son, on the other hand, after today, I don't like him even more. After ruffling, trying to ruffle Nico's feathers. But Nico didn't get involved in the rubbish and showed him the scoreboard at the end. Yeah,
I think it was a good way to silence the Flanos, but like I said at the top of the call, it's one of those things where I think there's always going to be a soft spot for Flano, but if he's going to be at the Dragons and help continue that rivalry and that derby,
that'll bring that rivalry on and make it much more stronger, won't it?
Exactly right. That's going to give everyone a little bit more impetus to jump on board and talk about this game. That's the diehards are all about this game, but you just sort of get that sense, especially with all the marketing behind some of the other so-called rivalries, like the Book of Feuds and whatnot, that the Sharks Dragons derby's been a little bit forgotten in the media, but I think this will help bring it back and put it where it deserves some prominence there at the top of the calendar.
I'll tell you what, Ben Hunt looked frustrated out there today. A couple of occasions there, he was yelling at his players, and they just look a bit disjointed, the Dragons, don't they?
He was.
They're just not a tight-knit
steam
group.
coming out of his ears. That's right. He, but they had some really bad fifth option plays. They really didn't look after any forward thinking. It just sort of ended up in the wrong hands on multiple occasions, which really sort of stifled anything they were planning. And I think that's probably got to the frustration of Hunt. Right, he's there ready to go, ready to show the way, and he's not got the ball, or he gets the ball in a bad position. So,
well, some of our fifth tackle options were a bit clunky today, but I liked how we ran it a lot more. Just put that pressure on them coming out of their half, and giving them the ball a metre out from their try line. I don't mind that. And if you can break through and score, you break through and score. I don't think that's a bad option running it on the 5th, especially in the conditions and especially after we sort of rested our way back in front.
Yeah, we did it a few times this game. We certainly did it a lot the last game against Canberra, which we discussed through our last debrief. But in this scenario, I think the difference between us running it on the 5th and the Dragons running it on the 5th was, if someone was caught with the ball on the 5th, they knew what was going on. They decided to go down with it, as opposed to the Dragons who panicked, played a bit of hot potato, and either lost ground or coughed the ball up into our hands. So, I think that was something that we've definitely talked about internally with the Sharks, and I think that's working for us, especially when we're in good field position.
Definitely.
Blake Williams, back on Flano Jr. is too busy looking for a fight when he's in our house. Well, Flano Jr., he did give it to us last game when he was at the Bulldogs, right? He scored that try from dummy half, and he was pumped. He was ready to give it to us, but he's gone. He's no longer a Shark.
He's got about 5 houses. It's more like, he rents, I think. He doesn't know where his house is.
He's couch surfing. Oh, mate. Golly. Oh, yeah, man. All right. Man of the match. What are we thinking here? What do we do? It's one of those games where it was a bit of an even performance across the park.
Yeah.
Were there any standouts? And if so, who do you give it to?
Oh, I thought Teague was strong, mate. I thought he had a very good game. Nicola for the work he put in. Hines was strong. He was strong in defence. He's just seemed to be in all the right places when a little kick would go through or a bobbled ball from St. George, he'd always come up with it and clean it up. But I'm going to go with Teague, mate.
Okay, Teague, very, very deserved. Not from me, though. I'm not going to give it to Teague. He was certainly in my options in a 3-2-1 scenario. He'd get some points. I'd also like to mention McInnes. Yeah, you spoke about how he came off clean, but he was in everything.
He had some really good runs, didn't he?
Had some really
long
good
range
runs. He really brought a lot of passion to this match. But I'm going to give it to the man of the moment, Tommy Hazelton. I think that when he went off, that seemed to be when the Dragons got on top of us a bit. And really started to get a bit of momentum against us. And then when he came back, we wrestled it back from them. He scores the try, and we don't look back, right? He really just sort of steadied the ship, in my opinion. He nearly cracked 100 meters, so that was pretty good. Out there for
man that plays the minutes that he does.
So he's
pretty solid.
He's really starting to change his role there. At the Sharks, and I think it's going to be hard to dislodge him as a starter. I think he's certainly got that for this season, I reckon. So it's
3 tries in 3 games.
3 tries in 3
for a front rower. It's pretty good, isn't it? Pretty good stats.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just one of those crazy things that I think, you know what? Why not? The big fella deserves it. Let's give it to him. Let's give him some raps. Popping that link there in the chat, guys. If anyone wants to call in, you're more than welcome.
Jump in and have a chat. Any Dragon supporters want to come in and have a go? I'm keen.
No, not this time, right? Now, Mike, he says Hines does a big job orchestrating. He does. And Hines, sometimes he gets a bit forgotten, especially this last few weeks where he really has been the man of the match. In this sort of game, I think the engine room laid the platform for him to be able to play the way he did. He certainly had a lot more time than Hunt did, and I think that's
I think Atkinson took a lot of heat off him this week too. Atkinson took on more of a kicking role and a running role, and I think he took a little bit of a backseat, which is good that he's let Atkinson do that, especially leading into these big games, just get his confidence up and let him get a feel for first grade in that position.
It's difficult to say took a back seat. I mean, they both got over 100 meters. And while I'm looking at this, apologies to Hazelton. Look, I said he almost got 100. He did. He got over 100, 115 runs, 115 meters from Hazo. So well done, buddy. So it's good. But you're right, Daniel. As we said earlier, he was in a lot. He was really sort of eager, right? I think
Yep.
he's really keen to get out there, really keen to get his hands on the ball and show that he's part of this team. And he's not doing anything wrong, really. I think he's doing a great job.
The softer draw over these last couple of weeks just helps him really come into it and get that confidence before next week. So
everyone is going to get tested next week, aren't they? Now, here we go. Mike, he brings it up. I think someone brings something up like this for the last few weeks now. 4 weeks at the top of the ladder, and the media will again talk about the Rabbitohs or the Storm. Flying under the radar, that's something that the fans like. But, when you're sitting there watching whatever media or news that you're consuming and you don't get any mention of your favorite team, I get it. It hurts. It sucks.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
But it's, as the saying goes, if it bleeds, it leads. And the Rabbitohs are certainly bleeding at the moment. They're hemorrhaging. There's news stories everywhere for them. Yep. And then, Melbourne Storm, I don't know if they get as much chat as you think, Mike. They got a little bit this week because of the Munster thing, and they probably will again the week coming, thanks to Pappenhausen going down injured. But I think the Roosters certainly seem to be getting their fair share of media attention, and I'd say that's probably undeserved if we're talking about people getting blown out of proportion. But yeah,
the thing is, mate, we'll say we get up next week, it'll be Melbourne had a poor game. It won't be the Sharks, force them to have a poor game and throttled them, or
Pappenhausen out. Yeah,
we never get the accolades. Yeah,
yeah. I think what I'd like to say, and if Mike doesn't mind, I'm going to put a spin on his thing, and maybe this is what he meant. But 4 weeks at the top of the ladder, I'm okay with them not talking about us, but I do think it's interesting when they talk. In quotes, the heavy hitters or the top teams, the good teams, they always talk about, you're right, they name drop the Broncos, Panthers, and the Roosters. Now, I wouldn't be not name dropping us in that scenario, right? We obviously haven't been tested by them, but the Broncos haven't been that crash hot this season. The Roosters certainly haven't been that crash hot this season, and the Rabbitohs, interestingly, the Panthers, interestingly, while they are certainly a top-tier team, are new kids on the block in terms of being considered a top-tier team. So it normally takes quite a while before media starts to lump them in. So we'll see what happens there. But this upcoming period, we're either going to silence a lot of doubters, or they're going to be feeling justified that they don't need to talk about us. So hopefully the boys prepared. I was a little bit concerned that maybe we weren't up for this game as that halftime try by the Dragons got over and put us down behind, that maybe we had an eye towards the half tough run ahead. But no, we dug deep and got away with the win. So I think the boys are in the right headspace and ready for this.
Yep. That's what Cam said in the presser. He said it was interesting this week to win in a different way they have been in the last couple of weeks, where they've just been out in front from the get-go, and it sort of, I think, does help prepare for that matchup next week. And he was alluding to that, and that's what Fitzy was asked. You've got a tough month coming up. And he shut it down straight away and said, "We're only looking at Melbourne. That's all we're focusing on."
Yeah, gotcha. So, well, there we go. SJD gives Atco man of the match for the first half. I don't know if that means someone else gets it for the second half and they split the award, or if there just was no second half man of the match. But now, Craig, look at this. We play the Panthers and Brisbane during Origin, so we'll get no respect there if we win those either. I need to fact check that. Surely Origin isn't that close, is it? Wow. But if it is, then you're right, mate. Yeah, we will probably have those usual discussions of players out or fatigue from the big game. So
I think we'll have a few out this year, so hopefully that doesn't get swept under the rug.
Well, you know what? That's probably one for our Tuesday night episode. But we hear these rumors. We talked about Hazelton and Teague and Oh, I've gone blank. Bloody Ramian.
Ramian, yep.
Thanks for helping me out there, lads. No worries.
It's all right, mate.
Ramian. So, I mean, I guess there is a bit of scuttlebutt about who might be, and we know that McInnes has been spoken
He's
about.
Knocking on the door. Yep.
Knocking on the door there. I don't think Brayley will get a run as much as there's a bit of rumours about him. So, yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to have anyone missing for Origin, but, you know, I'm always a fan of Origin and getting players in there so they get that experience. And you know what? It helps me enjoy Origin more to see our 100%. Guys out there performing. So we will see what happens there. Oh, here we go. Jake, one of the late comments. Sorry for arriving late. Did Boldo mention we took the 2 points? Now, Jake.
That's good, Jake, because from what I've heard, you arrive quite early most of the time, so we won't go into that. But, mate, Boldo's probably still asleep, to be honest. I don't even know if he's watched the game over there in New York. But
I'll tell you something, Jake. We didn't take the 2 points when it was on offer, and we scored a try. So that was good. And then later on, we took the 2 points when there was 3 minutes to go. So I think there's a win for both sides of that argument.
There you go.
So we will
made the right call both times, then, eh?
That's right, exactly. Both times, both people are correct. Anything else you want to dish in here, Lats, before we wrap up?
Yeah, mate. I thought Will Kennedy was brilliant, and I think over the last sort of this whole season, I think he's worked on his positioning in the off season, and he has not put a foot wrong there at the back, and he's like making these plays, stopping these tries, and on blokes that are much bigger than him, and he's really having a crack, and that's what I was hoping to see from him, because he's always had the flair in attack, but he's taken his defence to the next level, and the whole team has, to be honest. But it's a little shout out to him.
I think you're right. I think he was there on that try saver with Talakai against Bellin. Yep. I think we've seen him do that and put his body on the line on multiple occasions, and I think he's really sort of stepped up. That was probably, you're right, one of the knocks on Kennedy, and he's obviously worked hard on that, and is showing.
The only tries that went in were over to that sort of left-hand edge today, and he was everywhere he needed to be.
Always safe under the ball. Yep. He's great. Absolutely. One of those players that probably doesn't get the recognition they deserve for their position, but also the fans of that player wouldn't swap him for anyone. I think there's a lot of great fullbacks out there, but you'd have to debate me to see whether or not I should swap him for anyone, because I'm pretty happy with having him there at the back.
Safe as houses, mate.
Absolutely is. Well, with that in mind, thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks very much, Lats. It's been a great show as usual.
Mate. Actually, can I just ask you one more thing, mate?
Go for it. I'm here. I'm ready.
Who tops Boldo's tiers this week?
Is this a week for Boldo's tiers?
From what he told me last week, it is.
Who tops Boldo's tiers? Jeez. Oh, I don't know. While I ponder that, we'll pull up this one. Flano Jr. Too busy. Oh, that's a bit of a blunder.
It's an oldie.
I wasn't even over that one. Here we go. This was the one I wanted. The modern day Peachy from Jake.
Will Kennedy, 100%.
I mean, there is a lot of those sorts of calls. Now, Boldo's tiers, I don't think he's going to put the effort in. This is just going to be a copy and paste scenario, right? There were a few people in Boldo's tiers that didn't even get a run when he put that up. So surely we see Atkinson slide up.
I think Tommy goes up.
Tommy's got to go up.
Tommy's going to be top. Could be top 3, but I reckon Nico's going to top it. I've just got a feeling.
Euro hadn't had a game, so you reckon Nico's up there?
I think Nico.
Like I said,
consistency based.
Brayley's been fighting it. He's got one eye on the tiers. He's looking for it. I can't pick it. Like everyone else, I'm going to have to tune in on Tuesday to watch, because I think that's going to be a cracker of a tiers. There's going to be a lot of shifting up and down for this one. So I guess
100%.
next week on our regular Tuesday show, we're going to have the tiers. I didn't know that, but now we all do. So,
and if you don't know Boldo, get it ready, mate. You got a couple of days.
Get it ready because we put it out there. So there we go. Oh, here we go. Jake's Boldo's tiers, not Teague, because his name is like a tier.
Oh.
Very good.
One of your best, mate.
Yeah. And SJD, his tears bring me to tears. You're not the only one, SJD. It brings us all to tears, and they aren't tears of joy. So
Matty Williams is still trying to work out the system.
Matty Williams is out there with his calculus and his abacus, and he's trying to work out what's going on with these tears. It's a mystery to Williams.
Oh.
So yeah. Well, I've got to say thank you everyone for joining us. It's been a great time having you hang with us, chatting with us, talking about absolutely destroying the filthy merge, as some people like to call them, the Dragons, Georgie Illawarra. It was good to get that win. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you missed the show live, drop us some comments down below and let us know your thoughts, because we do read them and try to comment back on those. Tell us about the season in general, and up Cronulla.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.